Welcome back, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe this page for us. We're doing really good, but we would love to build a base and get this YouTube channel off the ground. So if you're enjoying the videos that I'm doing, please subscribe and like and share. Today I'm going to talk about some of the decisions that Buford Pusser made while he was constable and the sheriff of McNairy County. But before that, I want to talk to you about a robbery that occurred on December 13th, 1959, when Buford and two of his friends went to the Mississippi line, the Plantation Club. Um, this is only 8 days after he married Pauline Mullins. So it's kind of strange that they would be leaving from Chicago all the way to the Plantation Club. But what happened that night? Um, about 2 or 3 p.m., Buford and two of his friends showed up at the club. And by 5 o'clock, everybody had cleared out, but there was 4 or 5 witnesses that actually saw him there. The owner actually testified in court that he was beaten and robbed and hogtied, and basically left for dead by Buford and his friends. So we have a trial where Buford's brother testified that it couldn't have happened because he was with them. Um, Stating something that they only went as far as Anna, Illinois. Well, my question about that is how would William Hathcock and his wife and the 3 or 4 other witnesses know that these 3 men had even left Chicago unless they did see him there at the club? So we have him being arrested and charged with uh, robbery, assault with attempt to kill. And now they were not found guilty, but the facts are the facts. He was there. It did happen. William spent about 2 weeks in the hospital from his injuries. So that's some really poor decision on his part. I believe that he was there. The fact that he didn't get convicted is a side note to me because William was not of good character and he had murdered a man earlier, and it could have been a little payback for that situation. So I'm always wondering about that. I scratch my head. Why would a law abiding young man do something like that? Even if it was for getting him back for something that he did earlier, that's not the way to go. You don't do that. The ambush situation of 1967, I've done several videos on that. You can go back and look at those. I plan to do some more. I hope that they will release the autopsy report very soon of Pauline, and based on those results, we'll do some more videos on that. I want to talk to you about a 1972 stop that Buford did while he was constable. So when he first moved down from Chicago, he became a constable and then the chief of police at Adamsville. Then he became sheriff of McNairy County in 1964. So he ran 3 two-year terms and then had to sit out in 1970. He sat out for 2 years and then ran for sheriff in 1972, and he was defeated. And so he ran for constable and he was elected 3rd District Constable again. So this is while he was constable of the 3rd District. This January, New Year's Day, January the 1st, 1972, he stops a car. Thomas Edmund Pickens and several companions. He basically roughed up and beat up Mr. Pickens, dented the hood of his car, and took a shotgun out of his car and confiscated it. A week later, he was charged with larceny and assault and destroying private property and official oppression. So he had to post $1,000 bond. So there was a warrant drawn. He was arrested and had to post bond for that charge. And I couldn't find a deposition on that case, so I'm going to make an assumption that it was settled out of court. And that's another just extremely poor decision on his part. What was he thinking? What was he doing? Out, probably looking for drunk drivers, I would imagine. Um, but I wanted to show you what really, at the end of his life, showed probably his poorest decision that he could have made was while he was impaired. He was driving um, intoxicated. I'm going to lift this up. I hope you can see this picture with the skid marks, which are actually yaw marks. When he went over Thrill Hill at about 110 miles an hour, he went airborne, went off to the shoulder of the road, overcorrected, tried to come back. He actually turned sideways and skidded 345 feet down the westbound lane. And this was just shortly after midnight. And I think about all those nights I went and got my kids from their high school football games and cheerleading matches after midnight. I just couldn't imagine a school bus coming down that road full of kids. It would have been a disaster. There have been many of those kids would have been killed instantly. It was just a terrible thing. Then he traveled 200 more feet. I covered this in one of my previous videos, but he hit a stop sign, then he hit an embankment, then he flipped over. It ejected him. He wasn't wearing a safety belt. Car went another 40 feet or so, landed back on his tires. So he was just this careless disregard for life is just blows my mind. I can't hardly get over this situation. How anybody can look at this and see him as a hero. And I plan to do more videos in the near future. So y'all please be sure to subscribe and like for me. And until then, be safe.